yeah. In your house with O'Connor. Hey, O'Connor, in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Come to us for your news and opinions. We got a voice. There is no choice. We is them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast, it's like cruiserweight action. In your house is a perfect distraction. Pump us in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smooth.
What's up, guys? What's cracking? Hollywood House. In your house. We're here. We're ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are with the shits, because we're with the shits. And we're ready to talk a little wrestling. That is right. You already know them vibes. Anytime we slide on through, we're here to give you that work when it comes to the professional wrestling business. And guys, it's been heavy stuff going on here. You guys know it's been on the road. We've been on this road here to WrestleMania. And man, I got to tell you, I am ready. I am most definitely ready, as we've had a lot of great moments come up in this last week, and we're definitely gonna talk about it on this Easter edition of In Your House. And of course, I'm broadcasting to you guys out there on a Sunday, and usually when I come through on Sunday, I'm usually not alone, luckily enough for me. So once again, I am not alone. I got a great team here, and I have my co-host here and co-producer here at In Your House. That is Hypocrisy Jones. How's it going, bro?
Yo, what up, household? What up out there, yo? It's Easter, it's live. You know, Hypocrisy is risen from his bed. And yo, I'm ready to do this, man. I'm ready to talk a little wrestling, and then I'm ready to get down on some Easter festivities today. I don't know what you got going on, but I know I'm about to cook out and be with family and do all that, and it's gonna be a good day.
Yeah, we doing the same, bro. We doing the same here. We're going to be going and seeing some family later, and it's going to be great. And we talk about the holiday that is Easter. Well, we got some holidays coming up if you're a wrestling fan, and that's WrestleMania weekend that is coming up. Of course, a huge holiday here in the wrestling community. And of course,
for that Prime.
Oh, you know, I hope you're ready for that Prime. Like I told you, you got the ice pop edition. You can get a melted popsicle where you're tasting the feet. Boom, boom.
That Meta Moon, bro. I'm gonna find it. It looks exclusive. I bet you'll love it.
This man sent me a screenshot of him shopping for Prime for me. This is insane. This is insane, folks. It's gonna be a movie, y'all. But because of the magnitude of the weekend that is WrestleMania weekend, we of course understood that, and we had to make sure that we brought on not the guest, but a guest co-host that we always have come on whenever he has the availability. And of course, that is the Merge World Heavyweight Champion, the world's most dangerous game. But on here, he's the world's most dangerous podcaster. That is Paragon. How's it going, brother man?
Paragon, aka Vitamin P, aka anybody can get it, aka Mr. All that and then some, because I went them all while you just went some. I'm back. Y'all might be asking, P, where you been? I've been working, damn it, shit, and also playing busy. But don't worry about that. And also, yes, it's Easter Sunday. And so, you know, I stay putting people on my menu. You know, I stay hungry. You know, I stay ready to eat. So what better day than Easter for me to join back on and just let y'all know what's been going on. And trust and believe me, because of how busy I am, I haven't been able to be as present as I would like. But hopefully that's going to change somewhat here soon. Granted, that's also because wrestling book has been picking up. And that's a whole other conversation. I'm not going to talk about that. What we're going to talk about is how it's Easter Sunday. It's WrestleMania season. The holiday of WrestleMania weekend is upon us. All right?
Yeah.
We about to do the damn thing.
Hey, before we get too heavy in this, since you brought it up, Mr. All That. Are we talking seasons like 1 through 2, or 1 and 2, or are we talking the real deep Snyder editions? Because like we gotta know. Or like I'm just asking. Look,
All I'm gonna
Kenan
say
Kel
is
seems safe, but
the back of the jersey says Kel. Okay, that's all.
okay,
There you go.
okay.
There you go.
There we go. There we go.
Oh, yes, already off to a hot start here, guys. We are broadcasting to you guys. We are on IG, we are on X, we are on Facebook Live, and of course, a little bit later, we will be on the podcast edition, and that is, of course, on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. And make sure that you guys follow. We need you guys to follow. So if you guys go to the application where you guys listen, make sure that you are clicking that follow button so you guys can get notifications when we become available, when we do episodes on the podcast edition, because I know you podcast listeners like to pop us in your ears when you're working. Some of you guys like to come in live and chat with us when we are doing it on Sundays, but some of you guys don't have an opportunity to do that. So you guys like to pop us in your ears while you guys are working or driving to work or driving your kids to school. You guys know the vibes. So just make sure that you hit that follow so that way you can get that. I just wanted to remind you guys out there, the listeners, so you guys can get those listens and understand we're still out there on the podcast and doing the podcast. But today on this episode, it's going to be great because we're going to talk a lot of deep things. We're not going to be talking about really the card to WrestleMania. Like, of course, we've talked a lot about the card. Me and Hype kind of broke it down and gave our picks and our excitement and stuff like that. Now we want to talk about the vibe, the energy, the feel, the moment, that type of stuff. Because I know in past years, I've said, I'm excited for WrestleMania, but it don't feel like the road to WrestleMania. It doesn't feel like there's that urgency. It doesn't feel like there's a lot on the line. And I wanted to ask, not just Team IYH here, the group chat here in your house that we have, but I want to ask you guys out there in the household as well. Does it feel like WrestleMania season? Do you feel that magic of WrestleMania? Does The Rock making you feel like things are back? Is seeing Jade making her debut at WrestleMania making you feel that? Is seeing the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion going into the show making you feel that? Is the story making you feel that? What's do you feel like we are there? And that's the question that I wanted to pose out to you guys right here, my esteemed colleagues here, and you guys out there in the household. Hype, how are you feeling? Does this feel like WrestleMania 2 right now?
I personally feel like we always talk about the road to WrestleMania and there being a road to WrestleMania, but it seems like it's always a straight shot. I feel like this has had some turns and some curves and some. I maybe we had to turn around and go back sometimes, and like I feel like this has actually been a build with so many different things, whether it be The Rock inserting himself in multiple ways, whether it be CM Punk inserting himself in lieu of injury. Also, like now we see Jade and we're also seeing the things that's happening with Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio and things like that. I think that this has actually been a build where like I didn't know what this match card was or what the card for Mania was going to look like before Mania. Right. I think in past years, we kind of had an idea. All right, they're building towards this and this is what we're getting. Right.
Yeah. I feel like we've been getting things at the beginning, middle, and end because like Io, Sky, and Bailey, we knew that's been set since like the week after Royal Rumble, which was a couple of months ago. But now we're getting things. We finally got, they tried to kind of play with us a little bit with that Cody Rhodes Rock thing. They wanted to put that string out there and see, hey, what do you guys want? And so they kind of built that and kind of built on that in the middle. And now we're seeing like this Dominic and Ray stuff and Santos stuff come in, trickling in kind of at the end there. So we're seeing this card being built through time. P, you've been out there working, but you've still been paying attention to what's going on, which is really what I like about what you do as far as your involvement in wrestling is you're not too successful of a wrestler to not pay attention to what's going on around you. So
Damn, you
like
said I'm not successful enough.
no. What I mean is you're not letting your
Oh.
success cloud everything
Well, hi,
else that's
through this
going
one.
on around you. So what do you feel about what is going on in terms of the build, the hype? Where's your mind at?
So you asked, does it feel like WrestleMania season? To me, I think for the first time in a long time, it's felt more like Christmas. And the reason why I say that is because there was such a long period in time where WrestleMania's build didn't really excite us, if that makes sense. Even when it was a match that we were looking forward to, we weren't looking forward to the show. We weren't looking forward to the weekend. We were looking forward to a few matches.
Yeah.
This is the first time where the majority of the matches, if not all the matches, got me moist. I'm not gonna lie. They got me a little percolated. Okay, got percolated, you know. And it's, you know, they got me out here doing yes sir. Got you know, hey Triple H, can you put this on blast? You know, like you got me feeling it, you know. And it's because kind of like how Hype said, you know, the road to WrestleMania, even when it was quote unquote good, was a straight line. There's off ramps now. There's curves now.
Yeah.
There's a detour now, and it kind of
we're finally stopping to look at the big gigantic chair for no reason, right?
Yeah, or that large ass corn that we're passing by through, or the lint ball. Like we're actually getting a chance to like enjoy shit.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm saying it feels more like Christmas.
Yeah.
Because
I
look at it as WrestleMania used to be the thing as a wrestling fan that you looked forward to all year long. It was Christmas for wrestling fans. And ironically enough, I feel like, you know, Christmas isn't Christmas when you're an adult. You don't get to have the same wonder and joy. And then I feel like as an adult, maybe having a kid or getting something really special or having a really special moment, even for that 1 year, brings that Christmas feeling back. And I feel like for a lot of us, we grew up too quickly in wrestling. We got exposed to too much. But got Gambino said, because the internet. And I feel like we're getting our second wind. We're getting our comeback, if you will, to use wrestling terms. Yeah. And we're getting to enjoy wrestling Christmas again. So I feel like WrestleMania weekend, it's not the road to WrestleMania, it's the highway to WrestleMania.
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
We've kind of upgraded, and it seems like we're now able to look at how wrestling can be in the scope of different mindsets, right? I don't think we've ever really had that, or we did during like the WCW, WWE wars, the Monday Night Wars, and things like that. We kind of got to look at the scope of mindset through Vince McMahon and through kind of Eric Bischoff, mostly Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash, right? But now we're getting a chance to like see how wrestling can be, even in terms of guys like Tony Khan, but in terms of how Triple H sees it or Paul Levesque sees it, right? Whereas it used to be a much more linear thing. I think Vince McMahon is a very linear thinking person. Yeah. Triple H seems to be much more of a creative branching person, right? And he's using that and you know, adapting to that.
Yeah, that's a lot of good points. Pete talks about this being the highway to WrestleMania. Man, I really gotta agree. I'm seeing things play out in front of me from the perspective of somebody who watches on a regular basis. And of course, we talk about it here on this show and we critique it, you know, and we try not to come like too critical. Like we still want to have that mindset of like, we're still having fun with it. Like I said, I've been playing around with The Rock, like, oh, get to the point. And even P in the group chat was like, I can see what you're talking about. Like say anything else besides look at you now, look at you, you know, and and we could overanalyze like that, but that's when you lose what's happening in front of you, that's when you lose the moment. Like if we overanalyze so much on that, we lose the fact that like this man really went out there and whooped his ass mercilessly in the rain. Cinema, a
like
movie.
a redhead stepchild.
Like for real, bro. Like cinema, a movie, beat the shit out this boy, talking shit to him while he's doing it, throwing him into his bus with his dog. Like he's throwing him into his dog on his own tour bus. Like this is just petty behavior on all sorts of levels. It was like, a moment on Monday Night Raw.
Not to be insensitive, but this was that like Ike and Tina meets Joe Jackson ass whooping. Like, like if you watch that scene from What's Love Got to Do with It, but then you also watch the Jackson 5 American Dream and how it, after a while you like, I know this is supposed to be entertainment, but this is getting hard to watch. Man. I'm like, he is literally not. He said, "I'm beating you because you stole something, not like you stole something, because you stole something."
Right.
I love it, man. I love the energy. I love what I was seeing in terms of, like I said, it was the rain. It was the way everything looked. It was definitely cinema. Like we transitioned from a wrestling show to like the end of like some kind of drama entertainment series or something like that. And even better, like I know I put this in the group chat and I want to get your guys' thoughts on it because we haven't got, like we've talked about it, but I want to, like we talk about it to each other. We talk about it to them too out there in the household, you know, like the way when things went off the air, there was a video that went around, it's still going around, and with everybody all caught up in this past Monday Night Raw, and everybody's saying it was like the best Monday Night Raw in years, and that's the talk. Like we see the video of the ass whooping that was presented to Cody Rhodes by the final boss, The Rock, and we see a video where they're like, clear, everything's kind of done, and The Rock's like, what do you mean we're done? What clear? What? This is real. This beef is real. Like, so The Rock has somebody, I don't know who it is, probably somebody in the squad, you know, videotaping
World Star.
Right.
World Star. Like as the ass whooping continues, he's like, you talk about clear. No, this is still happening. He continues to whoop Cody Rhodes' ass. Like just beat the ever loving hell out of him. And you see him use provocative language. And I want to talk about that because he did it. He still did it on the program, but then he's kind of going after the cameras rolled. And I love that transition from, okay, now we're pushing to USA. Now we're pushing free media onto the internet. And he knew when to make that transition. That was good shit. What was you thinking about that in terms of how that ass whooping went down, and where do you view it in terms of where it's going to go down in Monday Night Raw history?
Oh, I think that clip is going to be replayed. It's going to be on the intro banner at some point. It's just going to be Rock beating the shit out of Cody. Like it's you know, the next canceled star is going to get replaced by that image, probably. It wasn't even a joke, man. But I want to touch on y'all like so I know everybody says that like Rock's been talking too much, and like
I think it's been more so he's been repeating himself. I think that's been the issue.
Yeah.
I think that I know that that's been an issue, but I think it's purposely done if you think about it, because throughout all this, still, and I said this a few weeks ago, the one person we really haven't been talking about is the one person we should be talking about, but we haven't been. Like, we have not been talking about Roman. We've been talking mostly about Cody and Rock and what they have been doing. And all of this has been a Rock systematic takeover, so that we eventually we will get Rock and Roman, right? And it's not to overshadow this portion of the story. It's just to say, hey, we have more stories to come. Right. Yeah. But like, I think all of this has been intentional. All the repeating of himself, you know, it's mainly to say, hey, I'm really the one here. I'm really the one doing things. You know, Tribal Chief, he takes days off. Rock don't take days off. Rock's working.
Yeah, he's the hardest worker in the room.
He really is, and he's really showing it. Like
he's really showing it. Like,
yeah.
yes.
So
Yeah.
as much as we want to get down on like, hey, he's saying the same things, but he's not, because he had a whole walkout, new Titantron and everything that says the final boss, which I think is the absolute most crisp thing ever. And I love that they change his Tron every week. They just add one more thing and then one more thing. You know, it went from the eyes to the final boss to, I don't know what we're gonna get this week, but
They're perfecting it. They're still perfecting it. That's what's going on right now.
And to jump off of what you're saying, Pop, I do believe everything's purposeful. What has always been The Rock's strong suit? His voice, his mouth, him talking.
yeah.
And the thing is, the Rock
with the people,
and The Rock can talk his way into you loving him. So, what are ways to make you not love me? I don't hit the catchphrases and I don't do the shtick.
Yeah.
I just repeat the same thing over and over again because I want you to understand I'm saying this because this is what's important to me. I don't care what's important to you. This is what's important to me, like a final boss would. He's also repeating himself because they have shown that when you repeat something over and over again, you either start to A, believe it, or B, you start to like have that hooked on what you want me to do. Him saying, look at you now, I stopped focusing on The Rock and started focusing on Cody to see his facials, to see is he bleeding, to see whatever going on with him. Because, The Rock can throw all the punches and stuff he wants, but if it doesn't look like it's hurting the guy it's happening to, do I care? And so it's starting to feel like everything that's being done is, one, systematic to make sure you're paying attention to the right things. Two, it's also because he's like, hey, if I'm the final boss, I don't have to say much. And he's not, I don't think he's looking at the final boss like a video game. Because yes, typically on video games, they have these beautiful soliloquies sometimes and things like that. If he's looking at it from a video game, he's looking at like the monsters. Or he's looking at this like in a movie where the final boss typically doesn't have to say much. It's his actions that say it all. Or their actions that say it all. And so I do agree with you. I think it's purposeful. And that's why, I was getting tired of him saying, look at you now. But I think that was purposeful because I'm so used to The Rock having a lot more to say.
The Rock right now is Kingpin.
Yeah.
Like
I was going to say, he definitely gives me like the not, of course, pun intended, the final boss on like Streets of Rage 3 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he definitely gives me those vibes. Like, this is the last guy you got to get past in the squad before you can, before you can get to what you want, So he's having to overcome that final boss. And I like how, and this is what I said, if you guys listen back to the old episodes, I've said anytime that The Rock comes in, I was like, man, I wish The Rock would get in his bag a little bit more. Like, I love that he comes and makes these surprise appearances and, hits all his, catchphrases and whatnot. But like, what if The Rock actually stayed and got in his bag? And so like, I'm not mad that I'm getting exactly what I asked for. And that's the problem with a lot of wrestling fans. They get exactly what they asked for, but they still mad. Like, because they're not doing it they're not, the performer's not doing the exact way that they want them to do it. Like, no, I'm still enjoying this Rock ride. Like, he is giving me invested Rock. And to me, it's been one of the coldest things that you can think of. And it has helped WrestleMania and it's helped WWE in a real way, that because he's such a mainstream talent, people who don't even watch wrestling is coming up to me and saying like, yo, what's The Rock doing on Raw? What is he doing? He's beating up Cody Rhodes. That's Dusty Rhodes' son? Oh, okay, I remember him. Like, this is real. And I'm talking like real people that don't watch on a regular basis. Like, they're coming in. Rock is kind of hitting on all cylinders right now in terms of what he's doing. And that's where I wanted to talk about the importance of the segment. So like, P, you talked a little bit about it. We talked a little bit about his attire, the way he's looking, the vibe that he's letting off. Like, could you expand on that a little bit? Because I know we talked a little bit in terms of other factions kind of doing something similar with somebody else, but the fashion, that's the Hawaiian shirts, the Versace shirts, like, is that kind of giving him off a different vibe? And how are you feeling about it as somebody that, you fashionable too? What's your mindset on it?
Well, right now, I think we've been making a mistake in addressing The Rock, because a lot of people kept saying, oh, this is Hollywood Rock. And I'm like, no, this is Final Boss Rock. And so when you really pay attention, this is the amalgamation of all the Rocks together.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's
Oh,
why
yeah.
he has, like, you know, because think about it. The Rock was rocking that, you know, what was it? It was the $100,000 shirt or $200,000 shirt. You know, he was rocking that before. The thing was, when he was rocking that before, it was a whole different presence. But based off of who he has become over the years and how big he is, he doesn't look like, you know, even Hollywood Rock. He looks like a damn cartel boss who his sleeves popped off, you know. And it's a whole amalgamation. You know, he is taking all the different things from the increase in muscle size. He's taking the things from, you know, having had his days in Hollywood, have his days having the however many $1,000 shirt. He had his, you know, disrespecting the people, disrespecting the wrestlers, whatever. And then he's going into this phase that we've never seen from The Rock. The Rock, you know, could win fights, but Rock only whooped people's asses on movies.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times Rock was very, very unselfish. And so a lot of times The Rock never really got to just hit the ones with somebody, just whoop their ass like that. The only person I could think of was Foley.
Yeah.
And I think that was also because of where the company saw Foley. It felt like they saw The Rock as somebody who could beat anybody but couldn't beat up anybody.
Yeah.
And now they're looking at their roster probably, and they're like, damn, Rock's probably one of the biggest, tallest, swollest dudes on the fucking roster right now. He should most likely be able to beat anyone, if not everybody's ass, like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Let's let The Rock just whoop somebody's fucking ass.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's also like, yeah, if you're a final boss, that's what you're going to do. He's dressing the part of a final boss. And the final boss looks different to everybody. With him, he looks like a goddamn muscle-bound cartel leader. You know, he's carrying himself in a way that makes sure you know this is a different Rock. It may seem similar, but it's kind of like that Kanye Kobe commercial. Are you the same beast but in a different animal?
Yeah. What does it even mean, Kobe Bryant?
What the fuck you talking about, Kobe Bryant? Like, but that's what I'm getting at. It's like, this is a whole new beast inside of the same animal. Yes, we know this is the Brahma Bull, but the thing is that there's evolutions to this. Yes. You know, he is evolving, and he's evolving in a way that I think as wrestling fans we're loving it. As wrestling fans, we need to appreciate it while we can. Because I look at it like anything in media. You get tired of seeing LeBron, but you're going to miss him when he's gone. Y'all were tired of seeing John Cena, and now look at y'all. Y'all miss him so daggone much. You need to let him stay away and relax and cool down or whatever like that. Y'all take for granted some of these real celebrities we have because we've allowed social media to dictate who is and is not famous. That we tend to forget who real actual celebrities are. And so now we have someone like The Rock who has crazy, stupid star power. And he's graced us with something we've kind of been asking from him for years. Because if you think about it, we've been asking for heel Rock since his mania with Cena. Just like we've been asking for heel Roman. And now, once again, we're being proven why you have to sometimes wait. And you can't just have things when you want them, because when you wait, they happen how they're supposed to and when they're supposed to, instead of when you want them.
Good point.
I think that directly relates to how this build has been for the entire WrestleMania, right? Like, and how we've had to wait on certain things, like we were saying before, like we've gotten certain things at certain points, like we've gotten to certain places at certain points through this, rather than it just being pretty much all at once. And like I think that's just the big difference in this build, as opposed to a lot of other years, maybe. And maybe that's how we ingest it, through social media, through live content, through whatever. But like everything about this build, for not only this one match, but also this entire WrestleMania card, has been like that, where we've seen so many different stories come.
It's been heavy, bro. It's been a great build and everything that's went into it. But I have to bring in the element, and I've been thinking about this, having this on my mind for a while. We're seeing a lot of Rock and we're seeing a lot of Cody, so they're having these interactions. And one thing that I'm seeing is that, and I even said, I think I said it last week. I was like, I think I said it on my solo shot that we need to see Roman Reigns on Friday Night SmackDown because The Rock was overshadowing him so much and we did not see him. So I guess my thoughts for you guys is, where is Roman kind of playing in this? Because P talked about The Rock being, the hardest worker in the room, and he just kind of, he showed up on Monday Night Raw, he was unannounced, boom, just showed up in Chicago there with CM Punk, boom, he's advertised for Brooklyn on Monday Night Raw. Roman does not show up on this past Friday Night SmackDown, so he's got to be on the last Friday Night SmackDown before WrestleMania, I'd assume. But what are your guys' thoughts? And we'll start with P here. Get your thoughts on as far as the involvement of Roman, because in my eyes, it's looking like the bigger story here is Rock and Cody.
I think that's on purpose. I think we purposely have it in a situation where it's like, hey, what's going on? How come we're not getting Roman, whatever. And it may play down the line of he felt like, Rock wasn't knowing his place. Or it may become something of maybe Roman orchestrated all this. Since he's head of the table, he put Rock in these places to show that he was the one in power or whatever. Like, I feel like it can play in certain ways. I will say I would like more Roman on my TV, because even if all this stuff is purposeful, it is making the champion, and I hate to put it this way, but the most important champion in WWE, yes, over Seth, it's making him look like an afterthought in his own story. It's like when you watch an anime and you start noticing all the other characters are getting more arcs and more love than the main character, like Gon and Hunter x Hunter. Gon was, after a while, stopped being the main character in his own damn show. Yeah. And so that's where I'm like, you don't want to be in a situation where you stop being the main character in your own story, since we talk about stories so much in wrestling. Yeah. Like at one point in time, you could argue that was kind of even happening to Cody, because Jay was becoming more of a main character in Cody's story.
Yeah.
And then The Rock was becoming more of a main character in Cody's story.
Yep.
Oh,
so
man.
That's kind of how I feel about it. Is right now, Roman, and granted, Roman has been the main character in multiple people's stories since this run, and even since his start of his career. So it could be like, oh yeah, well, it's about time. But no, y'all don't understand. Like, Roman is really fucking good, and Roman
he really is, yes.
And he's really fucking important to wrestling right now. This may be Roman's last WrestleMania.
Ooh, can you even imagine that?
But it's true though. I mean, we don't know where his health is, and with the time he's been taking off, maybe that whole 2K showcase is trying to foreshadow that Roman wants to go to Hollywood to give his body a rest.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
And also, Roman has been doing this for a while. We got blessed with getting LeBron James runs in WWE. And what I mean by that is we had our Miz's, we had our Kofis, we had our Randys, we had our John Cena's, and we kind of had our Shelton Benjamins. We kind of had our he should not be named Beast Incarnate. We kind of had our Undertakers. But all 7 of these are anomalies. When you think about how many wrestlers, how many great wrestlers, how many GOAT wrestlers, look at Stone Cold and The Rock. If you combine even The Rock's current run and you combine Stone Cold's entire run, it's still shorter than John Cena's.
John Cena was out there working for a long time. Let's not forget about that.
It's shorter than Kofi Kingston's. It's shorter than The Miz's. So that's what I'm getting at when I'm like, a lot of times great runs are Jordan runs. They're short careers, they're short primes, and they're legendary.
Right.
But because we're getting used to some of these more lengthier ones, we're not paying attention to like, oh, like this person has actually had a pretty good run. Roman's been on the main roster, I want to say, since 2013.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, hey, he might be going away soon, especially because Homie beat cancer twice, which also, just side note, all the people, how come Roman beats all these people? Because if you beat cancer twice, what makes you think you gonna do it?
Right, true.
I mean, you're not wrong there. You're not wrong there at all. And I couldn't imagine this being, or like, I don't think I could imagine a WWE without Roman. And that's weird to think of, but I think we may be coming towards that. And I don't know who takes up the mantle, because and not because they don't have people to take up the mantle, mostly because they have so many people that could potentially take up the spot or take up the mantle of that Roman has.
And the person who's
has
supposed
had.
to take it may never wrestle again.
Oof.
Because they were molding Big E to be next up, and I believe because of his injury, that probably won't happen now.
No, I don't think. I don't think.
And that sucks. And that sucks to think, man. Like that, like as far as that goes, that really sucks to think about, because like everything that Big E was doing and the way he was popping out. But I talk about it a lot on this show. You guys know how I say it. It's that embarrassment of riches that they have, even up at the top of the echelon there in the WWE, that anybody could come and take that spot. It's just a matter of who's going to grab that brass ring, you know. And talking about Roman Reigns and the run that he's had, it's been a legendary run. All the work that he's done, the greatness that he's been able to sustain, it makes you think what is going to happen at WrestleMania, and with these limited appearances, what does that mean for him and everything going on with his future. But as far as WrestleMania goes, man, there's a lot of stories that still need to be had, still need to be told, and we're staying here talking a little bit about the feel, talking about the vibe of WrestleMania, and how we've talked about how the feel has been so strong and so heavy. And I know one thing that P really wanted to talk about and allude to as far as it goes, like we kind of talked a little bit about it before the show, is even though the feel is so great and the movement is so strong, we've had to do some pivots, and we talk about maybe some pivots that they didn't do quite right. I know you had some thoughts on that. Like, we talk about the feel and the vibe and everything, but you feel like that there was some pivots that had to be taken and other pivots that were taken that probably didn't need to move in that direction. What were your thoughts on that you wanted to get out?
I mean, so granted, the build has been great. There are matches I'm looking forward to, but we talk about stories, right? I feel like there were just I'm gonna just choose one particular match, especially because then y'all can let me know if there's another match y'all feel the same way about.
Okay.
The IC title match.
Right. Yep.
With the IC title match, personally, I feel like that should have been a triple threat. Not the US title, but the IC title match.
Yeah.
Why do I feel this way? Because you had two stories that were way more compelling than can Sami Zayn beat Gunther? Because that's honestly the only thing the story is. Can I beat Gunther? Yeah. Can I get the IC title back? Can I redeem myself after all the crap I dealt with the bloodline? Mm-hmm. Cool. But you know what's more compelling than that? You got Ricochet, who's tired of being overlooked, who's tired of going up the card just to get knocked down from it, who's tired of the stop-start, who never got his rematch after losing said IC title to Gunther.
Right.
Never got an opportunity to fully show what he can do, and was pretty much pushed to the back of the line when he should have been at the very front of it. And I also think of the crazy spots that can happen in this match with Gunther and this one other person, Chad Gable. You made my daughter cry. You made me let my daughter down. You left me in shambles and embarrassed. So how much better would it be on the biggest stage of them all if I try to get that win back in my daughter's eyes? And picture Gunther going to German Ricochet, or Gable goes for the Chaos Theory, and we get a triple German suplex spot. Ooh. Picture, Gunther having Gable up for the power bomb, and Ricochet springboarding into it or some crap like that. Like, picture all the crazy highlights you could have had match-wise, and then allowing one of those guys to finish their story and topple Gunther.
So you suggest should have been a fatal 4-way?
No, it should have been a triple threat match. Sammy shouldn't be involved.
Oh, Sammy should be out altogether.
I think Sammy should be out altogether. I think Sammy should have been in a different match, a different program, or whatever it may have you. Like, if
So
anything,
where would you put Sammy in?
Where would you put Sammy?
Yeah, that's my question.
So,
where would you put Sammy in?
as you remember, like I said, the United States title match should not be a triple threat. The United States title match should have been a fatal 4-way ladder match. That way, you let Orton get his RKO spots off the ladder, even if it's just pull the leg off RKO. You got KO that can do, he knows he's going to throw his body at the ladders. We saw that when he was in the 6-man ladder match back at Wrestlemania, what was it, like 31, 32? You have Logan Paul, who's going to do high-flying crap. I don't have Sami Zayn win that. If anything, I actually still have Logan Paul come out the winner. But I would rather you insert Sammy in that match or have him feud with Shinsuke or literally anybody else. I don't think the U.S. title match should have been a triple threat without having some more stakes in there personally. But that's also because I don't necessarily feel like KO and Randy is the match to be added into that anyway. But I don't think Sammy needs to be in that IC match because, in my opinion, his story does not compel like the other two. And granted, it's WrestleMania. Not everybody gets to be on the card. There's probably somebody's favorite right now who was on WrestleMania last year or who was in a certain title picture, this or that, or may have you, that, you know, wasn't. And honestly, let's be real, LA Knight and AJ Styles are fighting for the sake of what? Because I don't like you?
I mean, that's the match. If I'm looking at a match that's like, hey, why is this match on the card? Because it really,
and so that's
like,
that's what I'm getting at. That's a match of why is it on the card? So we could potentially do that with something with Sammy. And
but I understand why. I understand why Sammy's going for the IC title. In this sense, when he and KO split up, he said, "Hey, I'm gonna search for my own gold." He wasn't able to beat Seth, right? And I can see the transition to IC title for him. I could also see it for Gable. After you were just reminding me of Ricochet's story, like I can now see Ricochet's story, but like just thinking about him, I'm like, I can understand why he's missable from WrestleMania. Gable's a weird one though, but I truly feel like what they're doing with Sammy and Gable is that Gable is going to coach Sammy into this win, and then it's going to be the start of a new evolution of Gable, and we're going to see something different coming out of that. He's going to be able to rise from this.
Personally, I feel like there's a bigger story to be told with Ricochet past WrestleMania, right? Like Ricochet is starting to me, he's jumping into that role where he's reminding me of like the Kofi Kingston from like 2008, 2009, somewhere around then, where it was like, oh man, he's solid and he's good in the mid card. But when are we going to really start appreciating this guy? Like this man really set up here and did a shooting star on JD McDonough while this man was standing up. That's stupid. Right. That's ridiculous. Like, and plus and I understand like some of the disconnect because, and I talked about this a little bit, I think it was with my son, is that people don't really know Ricochet like that. Like they know the feats that he does, but like when he cuts a promo, it's like, hey, I'm going to come through. I'm going to do this. I'm going to beat you and I'm going to win. I'm going to take the victory. Like, and I get it. Like he keeps it real basics and sometimes you got to do that.
Granted though, in the build to the IC title, we finally got to see his personality.
Yeah, true. But we need to see more of it. We need to see more. We need to see him more coming, showing up like an athlete would show up and he's holding hands with Samantha Irwin. You know what I'm saying? Like we need to see more of that other side of Ricochet so we can care more about Ricochet, because right now he's really putting out a great product for himself anytime he's out there. But the disconnect is, why do we care about Ricochet? We know he's a great athlete.
He can hit a backflip in church shoes. That's why.
Yes, he can. He can. He can.
Do it more in the ring.
More about
Just
him.
do it more in the ring and make it your character and make people love you for that. But like,
I think the issue though is it also goes to that whole stop-start. Every time Ricochet starts to get momentum, every time he starts to get real promo time, then they stop it. I mean, think about that program he did with Logan Paul. He did the flip out the ring thing. People loved it. People were going crazy for it. And I told people when it first happened, I'm like, Ricochet really can't afford this loss. I know people think he can, but you're only saying that because you're so used to the stop-start. This is the time to use Logan Paul's platform to make Ricochet bigger.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like, make him a star. Let him go viral.
I didn't understand why he's not in that U.S. title match. It made more sense to put him with Logan Paul and make that maybe a fatal 4-way. Even if you kept KO and Randy in there, like Ricochet makes more sense there and could be an added guy. And I'm all for whoever's going to take the pin for to Logan Paul, so that Khan has to drink that prime.
Because I'm not drinking that damn prime. All right, I'm not drinking that nasty shit.
You heard it here. If Logan Paul walks out the victor, Khan has to take 3 shots of prime.
No,
we got a whole bet, bro. This is the real bet. This is we've already confirmed it.
I was hoping it was just gonna be shots. You gonna make him drink the whole bottle?
It's the whole thing, bro.
If I lose, I'll drink the whole thing.
No, you gotta drink 2. You gotta drink 2 of them.
Why I gotta drink 2?
Oh, why 2?
Yeah, no, you know why? 'Cause you know how we gonna do it? We gonna mix. We gonna put a splash of this flavor, a splash of this flavor.
Oh, no.
Gonna put some vodka in there, and then we gonna drink it.
Well, you're like, that might take the edge off a little bit. That's not too bad.
That might not be bad.
Not too bad. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
So, like I said, WrestleMania is coming up. We talked a little bit about things that, we would change as far as WrestleMania because I wanted to make sure. But, like, it's still a heavy road, y'all. Like, there's still a lot to look forward to. And I know one big thing that we got to touch on, we have to touch on it. P was real pivotal on it. Hype agreed. I did too. We all know. We all saw the ending to this past SmackDown. So, like, there we go, pointing to the sign, man. We talk about how legendary the ending to Monday Night Raw was and where Monday Night Raw is going to stand in the history of wrestling and the history of Monday Night Raw collectively. And we broke that down. And we talk about breaking things down. We talk about breaking down barriers. The site at the end of SmackDown, they're just knocking it out the park with these historical endings right now. You have Jade Cargill, who just made her intentions clear, what she was doing, coming out, signing the contract, signing the SmackDown. She comes out at the end. Naomi, who people, when she came back, oh, yes, I'm going there. When they come, I'm talking to y'all. When they came back, all they were saying was, oh, well, she just came back to WWE to job to Tiffany Stratton. Quit playing with me.
What?
Quit playing with me. No. You see, because they only see things one match and 1 week at a time. I knew there was a bigger picture for Naomi. And then Bianca Belair coming and standing firm next to Jade Cargill, next to Naomi. Everybody wants to talk about, oh, well, there's a big money feud with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. And yes, you might be right. But how important was it for those 3 strong women of color to stand side by side, pointing at the WrestleMania sign at the end of SmackDown? How important was it for them to be unified now instead of divided? That was a beautiful moment on SmackDown, y'all.
Absolutely. What you think, P?
Big moment. P, where you at? You over there thinking, the wheels is turning.
Well, it's just because already in my mind, I'm thinking like, yo, what would we call a tag team with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair?
That's a good question.
Like, because honestly, that's what I see. I see that leading to maybe how they get into that feud, but it's just that was a historical sight. And to quote my really good friend Lovely, wrestling is for who?
Everybody.
Everyone.
No, the niggas. No.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, okay.
No.
I was like, well, wrestling. I mean, that's still everyone, though.
That's why I'm saying it is because it's like people of color been making wrestling fun recently. The Rock's
for
coming
sure.
back. They've been
Absolutely.
talking about The Rock. Jay
Yep.
Cargill signing. You know, the stuff with Jay Cargill showing back up. Us having this beautiful moment. This beautiful moment where we got to see 3 black women. This has never happened in the history of professional wrestling. 3 black women ending a main event regular weekly show. And on top of that, they're letting you know they're about to have a match at WrestleMania.
Yes.
We have never had 3 black women on the team before. And I think once we've had 2 black women on the team before. And I think that was Sasha and Naomi, correct? And did they even team at Mania?
I think
So that's what
I think for the tag, maybe for the tag titles, maybe it was for the tag
maybe.
titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, so it's a historical thing. And then on top of that, then we're also getting to have them staying across the ring from 2 Japanese wrestlers and, you know, a Pacific Island wrestler, Dakota Kai. So
Australian?
Australia's in
New Zealand. I believe
Yeah,
New Zealand,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
my bad.
Yeah. But it's like, so to me, it's like, it's really cool being able to see what's building with these wrestlers, what's building with this
Yes.
representation, because
Yes,
we're getting
yes.
so much representation in wrestling right now. SmackDown was a field day representation. You had Dirty Dom standing alongside Legado de Fantasma. You had on the other side the LWO. You had the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. I mean, and what's cool is, unless you were a hater and were complaining about seeing all these people of color on your TV, you probably didn't notice until someone brought it up, because it
That's
felt
what
so natural and so unforced.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
If-
That's the biggest point, is that it felt so organic. They wasn't forcing it on me. It was
Everybody is
organically
there 'cause
done.
they should be.
Yes. That's the beauty of what we're seeing. And P is talking about all that representation of so many different cultures on Fox, on SmackDown, that people watch. And Fox is a channel. You don't even need cable to watch this. This is something anybody can watch. Anybody can watch it if you got a TV in your house, if you got the app on your phone, whatever. It's a beautiful thing. I'm sorry, I just got to say it. It's a beautiful thing to see a sport that was, let's face it, it's been,
It wasn't
back in
made
the day.
for us.
It wasn't made. Come on, somebody. Like, that was a good old boy sport, bro. Like, that's a good old boy thing. And now to see all these different cultures represented on the highest platform available to what we do, what we love, what we perform in professional wrestling, it's just showing you how wrestling has grown and evolved over time, and the work is still being done.
And let me bring this up. This is real talk. As an independent professional wrestler, I remember being in locker rooms where I was told that I was a token black guy, because you can only have so many black people on your show. I've been in locker rooms where I was told you can only have so many black people on your show, and there's too many black people on the card. I've been at shows where, I was told that you have to have a certain amount of black people and other minorities, so that way white people feel comfortable. And then I've got to be on shows where I'm in a majority white town, and half to, if not more than half of the roster is white. And yet, not only am I the champion of that company, the crowd is cheering it for me and loving me in a majority white town, because they're understanding that not only does representation matter, but they're also understanding that good is good.
I was gonna say, when you're good, you're just good. Like,
That part.
Good is
good.
fucking good. And I think that's been an issue we've had to deal with for so long in wrestling, is that we weren't allowed to just let good be good. And now we're being able to say, hey, we're having fun in wrestling again. And I think that's why wrestling is fun again, because now the wrestlers are having fun because they are seen and they're enjoying the stuff. They're not working for an overlord, And it trickles down, because a lot of times when TV wrestling does good, it allows wrestling and other facets to also be good and fun.
it's a copycat sport, bro. It's a copycat sport where if you see it on the upper echelon and it's working, then it's a trickle down effect. People are going to start to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see it. And I know for my journey in wrestling, it's been like, like anything I've done, I've just been good at it, and the work speaks for itself. And I grew into I grew into a role for myself where I can fit in with other talented people and just, not have to be the most talented person. Because I've worked many I worked many shows where I was clearly the most talented person in that room, and I'm just gonna say it for what it is. And I'm not even wrestling. I just know how to grab your attention and know how to do. But now to be able to be around other talented people to where I don't gotta be so big, like it's great to see. Like you see it in Emerge. We're seeing so much representation at Emerge right now, and with you being the champion there, and now we're seeing it. So this is the vibe. This is the right feel. This is the right energy right now for wrestling. That it doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, the background you come from. If you good, you are just good, and you should be able to represent yourself and represent your art if you are good in doing it the right way. So like it's cool to see. It's a vibe. It's great energy, man. WrestleMania. We broke it down and talked a little bit about that feel. Talked a little bit about the representation and stuff like that. And we're gonna slide out of here in about a minute, but we're about a week away, and we might not do another show altogether before the big show. So I want to ask you guys individually, and I'll give my thoughts too. What moment, what match are you looking forward to at WrestleMania that is not Cody and Bloodline involved?
You want to go first, Pot?
Sure. I mean, after Friday, it's definitely gonna be Jade's real debut, in-ring debut in a match. I'm definitely gonna be looking at that. But I mean, selfishly, I mean, it's this U.S. title match because I got things on the line.
Yeah, you got yourself a prime on the line, bro.
No, sir.
You're gonna be enjoying that first experience.
He gonna be drinking like sip, sip, sip.
Sip. Drink some.
I promise you. If I lose it, I'm just gonna
You just gonna tug it, bro?
Yeah.
Oh man, your stomach gonna hurt, bro.
Yeah,
you gonna have to go boo-boo, bro.
These things happen, man.
All right. P, what do you got, bro? What's the one thing you're looking forward to, match moment you're looking forward to that's not Bloodline Cody involved?
Well, if you're saying WrestleMania weekend, I'm talking Trick Mello.
Okay.
If we say WrestleMania weekend, I'm talking Trick Mello. One, because this is the first black male main event on a
get
pay-per-view.
Back into that representation. Yes.
Yep. Since Rock and Booker T for WWE. I know it's happening in other places, but for WWE. And so to me, that's very important. Also, it's making me really think because if you look back, it's reminding me of Hogan versus The Rock.
Yeah.
And how when Hogan faced The Rock, they said this match was so big, but then they let the title match end the show and it killed WrestleMania's momentum.
Yeah.
And so I feel like this is a moment where they're like, hey, we feel with Trick's entrance alone, it's going to kill the crowd.
Yes.
So I think they made the right call having it go on last. And I want to see what happens because does this lead to a main roster call up for one, if not both? Is this a situation where maybe somebody gets back in the title picture? I'm excited. I can't wait to see.
Absolutely. I love that you said that because I know that's something that we wanted to talk about. And I wanted to bring up for that one. It's really given me this Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Kevin Owens,
Sami Zayn
type vibe where they're always going to be involved with each other at some point in their careers, whether they're teaming up or screwing each other over, fighting each other. It's always going to be something cold. It's always going to be something that's going to work because, hey, brothers just do it better, bro. And
Shawn Michaels, Triple H, best friend, better rivals.
It's that. It might even be Brett and Shawn. I know the animosity isn't there, but like on
it could get there
levels
though.
The levels that they are, Melo is one of the most technically sound people as far as like on the roster right now, and he's only growing. And then Trick with his natural born charisma, everything that he draws to that, like they are the literal future. This is why, like, all right, Roman might be leaving soon, right? And we talked about having an embarrassment of riches. It's these
Yeah.
two right here.
Oh God, yeah. You want to have?
Let's not
you wanna
forget
have
Braun Breaker though. Braun Breaker still
He's a cold,
Yeah,
listen, he's a cold boy, man.
embarrassment of
That's
riches.
what I'm talking about, bro.
Braun is great. Braun is absolutely great, and I think he's there too. But I don't want to see them break up Braun and Corbin, because I think this is also great for Corbin right now in his career, and he could excel to even further heights if they bring this gimmick to the main roster.
Yeah, I love it, bro. I definitely do. I enjoy it. As far as what I'm zeroed in on, as far as WrestleMania, that's not directly, it's not Bloodline or Cody or anything like that. I still got to go back to this World Heavyweight Championship match, because with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, I'm interested to see where they're going to go. And of course, if you guys out there in the household have listened to recent episodes, you guys know I've heavy jumped on this. It's time for Damian Priest to cash in at WrestleMania and have that poetic moment where the only person who has ever cashed in at WrestleMania gets cashed in on him, for Damian Priest to cash in on Seth Rollins. And I think that there's something right there. It would catapult Damian Priest. So that's one match that I'm very zeroed in on as far as what's going on for the weekend of WrestleMania. P, what you got?
Also, to put this out there for the wrestling fans that do not know this, because I've been seeing people on Twitter talk about Damian Priest cashing in on Cody. They established a few weeks ago, for some reason, and I don't like it, but they established a few weeks ago that because Damian Priest was a Raw superstar when he won the Money in the Bank, he's only allowed to cash in on the Raw Heavyweight Champion.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, they announced it a few weeks ago. I don't like it personally. But it looks like we don't have to worry about him cashing in on Cody because he's not literally allowed to.
Okay.
Well, okay.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That
but
seems weird. But
I think I will still have him cash in. I'd have him do it. You catapult Damian Priest, get him to that next level of stardom that I think that he could ascend to. And let's face it, like, he's a great guy to have it. He's got the size, he's still got the good looks, like the Latin good looks and everything. I want to see Damian Priest on more posters. I can see it.
I want to see bisexual Undertaker whooping people's ass.
I love it, bro. It's crazy because now, like, I'm the type of person, I'll play WWE 2K and I'm like, man, I'm trying to connect some dots. So, like, now I've connected Damian Priest to, like, his gimmick match is the casket match. I'm like, who else would fit the casket match better than Damian Priest? Like, he's got the whole Undertaker-y type vibe, look, and whatever. Like put him that's a specialty match now, bro. But we're about to slide out of here. Call this a really great episode. Before we do, I kind of put something out there into the group chat and on social media a little bit. I wanted to do like a whole draft, but we kind of don't have time for that. Hype, you're there, you're about to enjoy WrestleMania, you're about to see some of the best athletes do their thing in a huge arena full of people and whatnot. And while you wish you could be there in person, you're going to enjoy it just as much chilling out with some people on the couch, or maybe chilling out with you and your family on the couch. And when you're sitting over there watching a great event like that, you got to have some really good snacks, bro. So, like, what are you thinking in terms of, like, what are some key snacks that you have to have when you're chilling out watching WrestleMania, bro, in any situation?
I think you need wings always.
Gotta have wings. Bro.
You always have to have wings.
You gotta have some wings.
And I beyond wings, I don't really care. But they had, like, give me a couple different kinds. Maybe some lemon pepper joints and some buffaloes. Or
lemon pepper wet.
Joints. Yeah. Oh yeah. They gotta be wet.
Oh yeah. I like that. All right. So you got wings, man. What about you, P? What's some key things you want to have in there, bro?
So here are my 3 go-tos. Anything else is just extra. Wings, chips, sliders.
Okay.
Those are my
I like
3.
little slider action. Yeah.
Wings, chips, and sliders. And the reason why I say sliders is because whenever I host a wrestling party, I have a different slider for each one. So whether you got the King Hawaiian roll sliders with like burgers or something like that, whether it's pulled chicken, pulled beef, or pulled pork, depending on who's coming through and whatever, whether it is chicken Caesar sliders, where I take chicken thighs and take all the ingredients you would normally have a chicken salad, and I take a fried chicken thigh and do it all up. Like I do it up. You know,
Yeah.
anybody can get it, especially in this kitchen.
Right.
But then also, there's just nothing better than having a really good chip while you're watching something exciting, because you'll see. And to me, popcorn, the kernels fuck up your teeth and your gums.
Yeah.
Moment. And so with chips, you can just, oh shit, what the fuck? Look, they should sell chips at movie theaters. I'm just saying. But
yeah,
those are my three.
Not wrong.
Okay. Yeah, for me, man, I'm a man who loves a Mexican dish. I enjoy Mexican food quite a bit. Last year, at WrestleMania, I had Pete over, and he kind of was there for it. And man, I had like this kind of do-it-yourself little authentic taco situation where it was like different, like a beef and chicken and guacamole and cow tongue and just different toppings and whatnot and salsas and what. And I go to an authentic Mexican restaurant to go get this, because I remember the first time I had it, it was at a buddy's bachelor party, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is some of the best Mexican I've had since I left California. And it was so good that I will always go back. So when I had it last year, I wanted to bring it back. And I think it's something just easy, because all you got to do is it's like a little buffet. You get your little, you get your little tortilla, you go, you fill up, put whatever you want on there, you go sit down, put your plate over, enjoy a little wrestling action. You got some chips, you could dip. You got to have a little chip and dip, man. You got to have like some queso and whatnot, a little queso and dip, and some chips to go there, like P was saying. I think that's important. But as important as the chip is, the dip is important too. It's something that's just gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? Make you just go. It's got to be a little spice in there, a little bit something in there, So whether it be like bean dip or a little salsa action or something like that, just a little something that's gonna really give you that kick. So that's what I say, bro, in terms of what you need. If you sitting down watching a little WrestleMania, as I will here in the new household, it's going to be a movie, man. It's going to be a great situation. But we got to slide out of here. And of course, when we do that, got to do the due diligence here. Hype, man, I know you always moving, always busy doing something. Today, you're just going to be kicking it, doing a little grilling out action, bro. But where can the household catch you and what you're doing in the future?
Yo, my name's Hypocrisy Jones. You can find me anywhere you can spell that on social media. I do my thing right here on the In Your House, within your house, for the podcast, for the page, for everything else. But you can also find me on the Kokomo Press, and we do a lot of special things there. I call it a community satire page, man. But we're open to everybody, and we're very inclusive. But we make fun of a lot of things. Right now, what we've got going on is every Thursday night we do the Kokomo Press presents a comedy open mic. It's a weekly open mic. It's free to come down. Doors open about 7 p.m. Get signed up before 7:30, and we start about 8 o'clock, man. It's free. It's a vibe, man. They've been hitting. Everything's been hitting. And of course, man, again, you can find me right here on In Your House.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate all the work that you do here and all the work that you do in your community with the Kokomo Press and putting on these comedy shows. We love to see the arts, the entertainment still out there. That's what we're here for. P, what about you, bro? What you got moving here when you're not here chatting us up at In Your House?
First and foremost, they did it. These madmen did it. My brother got a booking, and I'm irritated.
Oh man.
Where's that book? I want to know.
He is booked for XVW in Ohio. It's like near the Dayton area. They booked this fool. So if he sucks, I told y'all not to book him. If he doesn't suck, I taught him everything he knows, but I still told you not to book him.
Hey, Pete, let me tell you something.
Rise to the top. Oh, yeah. Macho Madness, has got more.
We'll be just fine.
This nigga. Look, also, with that being said, as y'all know, I have been super busy with wrestling. I've actually even been getting into music shit, which has been kind of getting busy. I'm working on this song called Scaring the Hose, because wrestling fans, y'all be scaring the hose. And so we got to talk about it. I have been working on, yeah, for real though, and you be coming on strong, and the strongness is the use of deodorant from your armpits. Use some deodorant. I've also been working on getting my YouTube show together, which hopefully I can get these 2 gents on when that stuff starts popping off. But it's a whole thing, like getting the aura, getting the settings, and all the other jazz. So we getting on it and getting it together. Also, I have a match coming up with Emerge Wrestling. I'm going toe-to-toe with Justin Kyle. I'm going to need you to clip this pot because I need to say this right here, right now. Justin Kyle, you love to walk into Emerge Wrestling and skip the line. People think that I'm afraid of you. And if anything, it's not that I'm afraid of you. I'm just annoyed by you. See, I love Kyle, but I can't stand Justin Kyle. Justin Kyle has dodged me his entire career. Justin Kyle has been protected from me his entire career because companies were afraid of what would happen when someone like me faced someone like you and I exposed you for who and what you were. All throughout my time in Indiana, I was hearing about Jake Carter defeated him and embarrassed him, never beat me. I heard about Braden Lee, embarrassed him, never beat me. Great guy though. And then there's you. And to quote Kendrick Lamar, fuck the big 3, it's just big me. And I'm really tired of people acting like I'm not the biggest thing in Indiana professional wrestling. I'm tired of guys like you who get an opportunity, get the championship, don't show up because you don't know if you love wrestling anymore, even though the Emerge fans love you so damn much and you owe it to them to show up and do what you're supposed to do. Then you lose to Brayton, lose a championship, but you still want another opportunity. And without earning it, you come in and you face Daniel Leeds and you lose again. And you think you're going to walk into a match with me when there's guys like Lord Crew, Chet Ripley, Jordan Cage, I mean, hell, Deontay Davis that are there every single damn show putting in the work because they give a damn about Emerge Wrestling? I'm not the leader of the tribe because the fans love me. I'm the leader of the tribe because whether they love me or hate me, I show up for them. I show up for the wrestlers in the back who want my head and want my championship. And you think you're going to step in to my hunting grounds because it used to be Justin Kyle country? Nah. You want a shot at my championship, then know firsthand anybody can get it.
Hey.
I want you to know that.
Hey,
and
strong words.
With that also being said, I'm also going to be on vacation. So when WrestleMania's going on, I'm going to be in Disney World. So
there you go. There you go. But strong words from Paragon to Challenger. Justin,
don't have to bleep out some of them cuss words.
Man, you keep it
mad.
in there, bro.
I was mad.
You was in there, bro.
You went Dwayne.
There,
it's okay.
Straight up told it like it is, and that's a great segue to tell you what I'm gonna be doing. I will be heading over to Columbus, Indiana this next week. I'll be involved in Emerge's Rundown, so I'll be making my first appearance on the Rundown with Commissioner Chris Lowe, with lead commentator John Gates, and A.W. Lurch, and we'll be breaking down the Emerge card, the next big show, April Reign. And guys, that is going to be April 13th, where our guy here, the Emerge World Heavyweight Champion Paragon, will be facing Justin Kyle. And we also have an entire card of great matches that's going to be going down, and we're going to break all that down there in Columbus, Indiana, on the Rundown from Emerge's social media page. So that is where you can catch me, as well as jumping back on commentary for Emerge Wrestling April 13th, the best seat in the house, where I get to commentate and be the lyrics of the song there with A.W. Lurch and John Gates, to some of the best young up-and-coming athletes in the professional wrestling circuit today. And guys, you already know I'm going to be right here at in your house. And guys, you already know where to catch me at. That's at the Hollywood House on IG. That's at Hollywood House on Facebook and on Twitter. And guys, you already know you can follow this podcast here in its entirety. That is at In Your House. And of course, that's HOWSE, and the W stands for work. So guys, really appreciate you guys sliding through with me, myself, of course, with Hype, and of course P. And guys, you already know them vibes. Go make sure to tell a friend to hop on this bandwagon. Get on or get gone. Because the household, we still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Happy Easter. Peace.